If you're thinking about moving to West Palm Beach, I'm going to tell you the top reasons why people love living here. And one of these reasons might be one you thought was a reason why people don't want to live here. So my number one reason why I love, and I think why people love living in West Palm Beach, is because it truly is a waterfront city. And I mean, it's unique to any other city in Florida, I believe, because it has 6 miles of intracoastal waterfront. And most of this from the communities in the south end of town all the way north of downtown, they all feed into Flagler Drive, which runs all along the intercoastal. So it's a super unique situation. And especially given that the intracoastal here is considered Lake Worth. It's a natural estuary that did actually used to be a lake. And so you have wide, expansive views across the waterway. You've got the island of Palm Beach. The town of Palm Beach is a barrier island that runs along the length of West Palm to the east. You have 3 bridges that take you over to Palm Beach, and then you have the beaches of Palm Beach. So it's truly is a waterfront city. So many events take place right downtown on Clematis Street, right on the waterfront. There's restaurants here along the waterfront. And if you live in the city proper downtown here, you can easily walk here to Flagler. There's marinas. There are docks that have been built where you can come in, just day docks come in from other surrounding communities and come in and have lunch downtown. So it is truly a waterfront city, and more so than any other city. I've lived here all my life, and I have people that I show around town, and they are considering maybe Fort Lauderdale or Miami. And once they see what a unique community we have here as a waterfront community, they're just amazed. So that is my number one reason why people love living here in West Palm Beach. So number 2, and not necessarily in priority order, but number 2 is that West Palm is like, it's really a city, but then it still has this small town community feel. And, it's the largest city in Palm Beach County. It is the county seat. And we've had this boom since COVID of growth with people moving from all over the country, but primarily the Northeast. And then just a lot of money coming here because there's a lot of money here anyway because of our adjacent location to Palm Beach. There has been a lot of construction going on and a lot of growth. That has attracted like major financial institutions. We've earned the moniker of the Wall Street of the South. There's an elite medical centers that have come here because of the people that have moved here. We've got a major graduate school. Vanderbilt is building a large campus right in the downtown area. So in addition to Palm Beach Atlantic, and I'll talk about all this later, but it's just there's been so much growth. And I always say this article that was in the Palm Beach Post, like at the end of last year, 2024, it was like a challenge to the people that live here. Can we preserve the small town feel and the easygoing lifestyle that we've always maintained here, even though we've gone through all these growth spurts? And part of me thinks we can because it is such a seasonal community, and a lot of the people that have moved here are more seasonal residents. So things do tend to calm down in the summertime, but we really have experienced a lot of growth. And it's kind of the secret to West Palm is, it's hard to describe the Palm Beach or the West Palm atmosphere. It's hard to describe, but at the same time, it's really easy to feel. So I always like to tell people that I'm talking to that are thinking about moving here, I recommend they come and spend some time here, enjoy the downtown lifestyle, check out the neighborhoods that are all around the downtown area. It's very charming and beautiful. And check out Palm Beach, adjacent to West Palm, and really get the feel of it, because it's kind of where the locals don't want us to show it off too much, because it is a very special way of living here. And having lived here all my life and grown up in Broward County near Fort Lauderdale, and I've lived all the way to Jacksonville, I can say what a unique lifestyle it is here. And so that is my number 2 thing to love about West Palm, is that it really is a city with all the things I'm going to tell you about that we have. And at the same time, it has this sort of tropical laid back lifestyle. Okay, so number 3 is, it's not just arts and culture, but just so many events and so many things to do. Just, it's always something going on, especially during the winter and spring season. I'm going to just share my map with you so I can just give you some context. You know, I grew up in South Florida, and my sister is like my age. And when she went off to college, she left and I went to the University of Florida, and she left the state. And she always said, I'm not coming back there because there's nothing going on there. There's no culture. And that just is not true anymore. So I thought I'd just show you on the map here. So in West Palm, there is so much going on all the time. Like Clematis Street is like that old traditional street that runs east and west and runs right down to the waterfront here. And then right at the waterfront, you have this Nancy Graham Centennial Square. And Nancy Graham, actually, she was a mayor back in the 80s. I worked on her campaign with her. She really fought to preserve the waterfront, to keep restrictions on height along the waterfront, and to maintain what had been originally created about the city. So I really think it's maintained that value all this time since then. And so what I really love to show people is I love to turn them on to the green market that goes on every Saturday right here, right on the waterfront. And the farmers and different vendors will come from all around the area. And that's from like 8 to 2 every Saturday during season. I mean, it's too hot in the summer to have it. And it runs down Clematis Street with all the vendors, and it's fantastic. I love to go in the morning before everybody gets there and get my coffee and get my food for the week. So that's just the green market, but there's also an amphitheater there, the Meyer Amphitheater, where there's musical performances throughout the year. The boat show goes on here in the spring all along the waterfront. And then you have the Caravas Center for the Performing Arts is just here, just west of the waterfront. So if you live in a condo or an apartment here around City Place, you're just a walk to the Caravas Center. We have the Norton Museum of Art here, which is the nationally ranked museum, and the Ann Norton Sculpture Garden is here just along the El Cid neighborhood, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And this whole length of Dixie Highway is considered the Arts and Antiques Row, and there's all these really well-known antique dealers. And during the winter season, there are car shows, there are jewelry shows. If you go over to Palm Beach, they have the Society of the Four Arts with all kinds of cultural events that go on there throughout the season. Up in Royal Palm Way, the Royal Poinciana Plaza has a theater that has been closed for some time and has been completely renovated, and I believe they're going to be opening it this season. So there's just so much going on, and it's so much fun to turn people on to all the things that there are to do culturally and activities. And I will say too, there's from the Society of the Four Arts here at the Middle Bridge on the Palm Beach side along the Intracoastal, there's something called Lake Way that runs almost up to the north end of Palm Beach. And it's basically just a walkway, but there's beautiful parks and homes along the waterfront here, and you can ride your bike or walk. So that's a beautiful thing to do when you're visiting, to really get a perspective of the West Palm area. So that is my number 3 thing to love about West Palm. Okay, so drum roll please on this one. It's just like dining, eating, casual. You have everything from like just totally laid back to super fine dining. And I was thinking like I could just like read a list of all the amazing restaurants that are in West Palm and Palm Beach now. And starting up like in the Northwood district up here, where you have the old Northwood Shopping Center where the Curry Park is getting renovated. And you start right up here, you have La Marina, which is this beautiful restaurant right on the Intracoastal, right next to the Rybovich Yacht Center. And it is just so chic and so beautiful. And then you come down into the Northwood district and you have like one of the best Thai restaurants here, Malachor Thai. You have this really interesting, it's called the French Grill House, and it kind of reminds you of like being in the countryside in France, these French guys have started this restaurant, and they kind of just grill everything outside. That's open air. It's awesome. And then Cafe Centro has been here forever here in the Northwood district. And then you come down to downtown and you just, it's hard to say. There's the Avocado Grill, there's Elisabetta's, there's Pistache, there's Felice's closer toward City Place. Maman is here, bakery here in City Place. The Restoration Hardware, this is kind of an interesting thing. See where the road divides? This is Okeechobee coming from I-95, and then the road divides through downtown. And right here in the median is a standalone Restoration Hardware store. And not a lot of people know about this, but they have restaurants in some of their stores around the country. And there is a rooftop restaurant on the 4th floor, and it is just beautiful. I mean, you could go there at the end of the day. Like a lot of times if I'm showing people property, and we'll take our break at the end of the day and go to the rooftop restaurant at the Restoration Hardware, and the sun will be setting and you can have glass of wine and something to eat, and it has a great atmosphere. And you're right next to City Place, which there's just tons of restaurants there. There's all kinds of restaurants along US 1 going all the way down to the south end. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. I mean, I live in North Palm, but I spend a lot of time in West Palm Beach, and I lived there for a long time. And if I'm planning to go out to dinner with someone, I look it up to see what's new, what haven't I tried yet, because there are so many fantastic restaurants in downtown West Palm. Knowing the local joint, like there is this Mediterranean market that I've been going to forever, and a lot of people don't know about it, but they bake their own pita bread. These two brothers have owned it forever. It's right here at the North Bridge, kind of right around in here. And you can just get your takeout. They make great sandwiches. They have great Mediterranean prepared foods that you can take home. I mean, it's a hidden gem and a hidden secret. And then if you come over the North Bridge from West Palm into Palm Beach, you have restaurants all along Royal Poinciana Way, from like Field of Greens, just a casual smoothie kind of place, to fine dining here in the Royal Poinciana Plaza, the Palm Beach Grill. You've got Henry's Palm Beach, and then you can come to the Breakers. Has a couple of real standouts. They have HMFs, which stands for Henry Morrison Flagler, and you can go in, and it's kind of a tapas kind of restaurant, but it's got a great atmosphere, beautiful music. And then they also have the seafood bar that sits out along the ocean, and that's also kind of a casual. I mean, in the wintertime, you kind of have to have reservations for these things, but in the summertime, you can just walk in, and they have the best atmosphere and the most wonderful food. So I could just go on and on. You've got restaurants all around Worth Avenue, down in Lake Worth, up in Palm Beach Gardens and North Palm. It's become a great place for food, for foodies. Whether you like to find the smaller, local, made with love, there's a place called the Fern downtown that does like farm to table, and their beef and their steaks are all from local ranchers. I mean, there's just something for everyone. And so I think that this is a really standout feature about West Palm, is that you don't have a lot of chains. You have some, but most restaurants are people that have been drawn to the community, great chefs that come from other places and start restaurants here. And there are just so many wonderful eating options. It's really fantastic. Okay, so my number 5 thing to love about West Palm Beach, I'm going to call it location, location, location. And I'm going to show you the map to show you what I mean. And really what I mean by this is just its proximity to everything is just fantastic. So here's downtown West Palm, and West Palm actually does extend out west of the downtown area proper. So even people live out here just west of 95, they're in West Palm Beach, they easily access it. But if you'll see here is you're so close to Palm Beach, and Palm Beach as a town has so much to offer in terms of, fine dining, the arts, seasonal events that happen from so many different charities that people are involved in. There's just always something going on. There's great shops, Worth Avenue, the Royal Poinciana Plaza. So Palm Beach just adds to the quality of life in West Palm. And then when you're living in West Palm, I mean, I don't have to point out that here's the airport. So, like if you live in one of these historic areas off of Flagler Drive, south of downtown, or if you live downtown, honestly, it's like 15 minutes to the airport. And they have pretty good flights during the season. There are fewer direct flights in the off season, but that is really a plus. And then the other thing is that I-95 and the Turnpike is here. These are our two main freeways that go north and south. And as you see, the Turnpike goes further and further away from the coastline as you go further south. But in this area and all the way up toward Jupiter, the Turnpike and I-95 are very close together. So it's a quick shot to get down south to Boca or to Fort Lauderdale or to Miami. The same with the Turnpike. You can get out to the Turnpike and just take it straight down to the Keys if that's where you want to go. We also have the Bright Line, which is our high-speed rail that starts in Miami and goes to Orlando. And I think there are even plans to extend it to Tampa. And that station is right downtown in West Palm. People love that because you can go down to different events in Miami. My husband just went with my brother-in-law the other day, and they took the Bright Line and went to the Marlins game. So it's really easy, and it's a very luxurious ride and very safe. And then there's also the Tri-Rail, which is kind of our local train that runs it starts in Mangonia Park up here north of downtown, and it runs all the way to Miami, and it has stops in almost every municipality from all the way to Miami. So that's really super convenient. And I wanted to say also, I was thinking about this, because sometimes I go to other areas and there's like one Costco and people are driving an hour to the Costco. But here there's Costco for West Palm down here in the Lake Worth, Lantana area. There's one out west closer to Wellington. And then there's one up here in just a little bit more north here in North Palm. So I don't know how many times you can live in a community where you actually have 3 Costcos within proximity. And on top of that, you've got, like, for grocery shopping, you have Publix. There's one just across the bridge in Palm Beach. There's another here out in the Village area, just a little bit west of 95. There's a Whole Foods here. There's a Target. So there's not many things that you're missing in terms of conveniences if you're living anywhere in this downtown area. So I think it's number 6 is kind of a little brag. We have the most amazing business development board. And back when I was in the banking world for another life, before I helped people relocate here to Palm Beach County, the Business Development Board has brought so many significant companies here, not only financial services businesses, hedge funds, all kinds of financial companies that have given us this new moniker of the Wall Street of the South, but also in the arts and sciences, the Max Planck Bioscience facility that's up in the northern part of the county. I'm just going to share my screen to show you the Business Development Board's website. So it says companies growing here in Paradise. I mean, we have Cleveland Clinic, the Carrier Corporation, the University of Florida is at this same bioscience facility. We have Citadel, Goldman Sachs. I mean, there's just so many companies. And I think the way that I help people the most is if they already have a job here and they're moving here, is I can help them figure out, positioning themselves, their home and their lifestyle nearer to their work so that it keeps their quality of life high. And I think that is the trick to living in South Florida, where you don't end up, spending your life in your car, commuting, for instance, if your job is in Boca, maybe you don't really want to live in West Palm and commute to Boca. If your job is in northern Palm Beach County, it's easy to live in downtown or some of the surrounding communities and commute to Juno Beach, where FPL is based, or to Jupiter, or out west in Wellington. So West Palm Beach is really centrally located for work wherever you are in the county, but there are significant corporations that are based right in West Palm Beach, which really does make it that much more attractive if you are still working and you're not retired and you're moving to South Florida. So what do you think? Do you love the things that I love about West Palm? I'd love to hear your thoughts about anything that you've experienced here on your visits and any questions you have. I love to get calls from people who are looking for some guidance on where to live here in Palm Beach County. And it's kind of my passion to help people find the spot for them. So, if that sounds like you, just feel free to call me or shoot me a text and we can have a chat. And I'd love to help you find your way here to Palm Beach County. And in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll know every time that we have a new video, and see you on the next one.